Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am in a college dorm and this is of course where I'll be living for the next couple months of the remaining school year. And if you guys have seen my videos in the past, you guys will know that I play guitar and I make guitar videos here on YouTube. But today I'm going to be giving you a few tips about how to be a guitar player in college. Let me get my list out here and let's see what we got. The first tip I have for you guys is safety. I've talked about this a few times in my past videos, but I honestly think it's very important to understand that whenever you're in college, especially if you have a roommate, you're not always in control of your guitars. I've gotten pretty lucky with my roommates. Both of my roommates who I've had in the past, I'm a sophomore now, have been very good, never touched my guitars without any permission or anything like that, never had to worry about that. But that doesn't mean that's always going to be the case. Sometimes you may have a class, and sometimes a roommate who you don't really know, especially in the beginning of the year, might get snoopy. They might have, bring over another friend who might, be interested in your guitars and just touch on your stuff without you, really giving them consent to do so. So it's really important to understand that your guitars are going to be at risk if you have a roommate. Again, I trust my roommate fully. He's never touched my guitars, and so that's never been an issue. But like I said, especially if you're moving in, like your freshman year, you don't know who you're to be roommated with, it's something you need to keep in mind. So what I suggest for this is keeping your guitars in a case. I still do this, regardless of if I trust my roommate or not. I have my two Les Pauls in here, and then underneath my bed, of course, which you cannot see, I do have two other guitars, which are both inside of their case. And even better, if you guys are able to lock your guitar cases, that's even better. Just make sure you don't lose your keys, because then that's a big issue. Another issue you might run into is being able to play quietly. Now, I'm actually thinking about making an entire video about how to play quietly in a college setting or an apartment setting or something like that where you can't always play as loud as you want, but that's a video for another time. But playing quietly is something that's pretty important as a guitar player, something that a guitar player can do while a lot of other instruments can't. You can't really play drums that quietly. You can't really play trumpet that quietly. So it's nice as guitar players that we have options to do so. So if I want to play quietly, what I use is my PositiveGrid Spark amp. I love that amp because it has so many different variations and tone and all these things you could do with the amp, so many different presets, so many drum tracks and just things you can play along with. It's a great amp, but the reason I actually use it the most is because it has a headphone jack. Now, I'm not going to act like this is the only amp that has this feature. Of course, tons of other amps have this feature. It's just the amp that I have that has a headphone jack, so it's really nice to be able to just play through your headphones and not really bother anybody else. And it's a very useful thing, because if you guys know Harvey and Brody, who I've had on the channel a couple times, they've had a fair few amount of noise complaints. And that's because they don't really use the headphone feature of their amps. But hey, it's been a few weeks since they've gotten one, maybe they're getting better. Another really important tip for being a guitar player in college is make some friends. In college, you're going to be introduced to a ton of new people that you've never met before. So chances are, there's probably going to be somebody who also plays guitar and is also interested in playing with other people. Some of the best friends I have on this campus are people I met through music. For example, I met my buddy Ronan, who I've recorded a couple songs with here on campus because of the talent show, where I played guitar and he performed his original song. Of course, we were separate acts, but that helped, kindle a friendship just around music itself. And I wouldn't trade that friendship for anything. The bonds and friendships music can create is just unrivaled by a lot of other things in the world. But where can you meet these friends? Some of them you can meet in clubs. My college has a music club, which I'm a part of, but I've never actually been to. I probably should join that club, but my schedule's a little tight right now. But chances are, if you guys go to a college, there's generally lots and lots of clubs you can join, because that's a very positive thing about college. There's a lot of networking you can have for anything. There's rock climbing clubs, there's just a ton of different things, and music clubs are a pretty common one that you're probably going to be able to find some pretty cool people to hang out with. Another way I've met some cool music friends is just through classes. Of course, I go to a small college, so the classroom setting is a lot different than a big college, so this one mainly pertains to small colleges where you're able to get to know all of your classmates in a class rather than a huge college where there's 400 people in an auditorium. So for us, we always have those kind of almost middle school or summer campy kind of things where we had to introduce ourselves before every class, not every single class, but the first class of every class, and talk about music there. If you're interested in music, if it's part of who you are, talk about music. And maybe there's someone else who also agrees, and that can start a friendship. But those are just a few ways that I have met really cool people and made some cool music friends. People I can play along with, people I can write songs with, and just stuff like that. Another tip I have for you musicians in college is to take every opportunity you can to play live. Now, your goal doesn't have to be a rock star. For example, I don't really have any aspirations of joining a band and becoming a famous musician. That's just not really in the cards for me. I don't think that's really what I want in my life. But that doesn't mean it's not important to play live. I play live for 5 or 6, something like that, times over the last year and a half or so, which isn't that many times, but it's a lot more than what I've used to do. And every time I perform, I found that there's always something I can improve on. And capitalizing on those things that you mess up on are really important to becoming just that next level of musician. So like I said in the last tip, there's always good ways to network in colleges, like those clubs and like stuff like that. And naturally, you're probably going to be introduced with some opportunities to play live. For example, I got selected to play at the big talent show thing called Mr. Crusader from my college, and I played Eruption by Van Halen. Because of that, I met some pretty cool people. I ended up meeting the head volleyball coach for my college, and she invited me to do a really cool event where I was able to play the national anthem for the college, and that's a whole vlog in itself, so you guys can watch that one too. But there's little things like that where opportunities will kind of present themselves to you if you take them. But that's the big thing. You have to step out of your comfort zone, and you have to take them. Playing live is a scary thing, but if the opportunity is there, you really should take it, because every time I've played live, I've gotten better as a musician. And though, like I said, I don't really have any aspirations of playing live as being my job or anything like that, it's still something that I really like to do, because like I said, every time I do it, I get better. Another tip I have for you guys is to find someone who is better than you. There's probably going to be a lot of people at your college, probably upwards of the 1,500 range mark, depending on how big your college is. Again, I go to a really small college, a lot of people go to bigger colleges. The bigger, the easier is going to be able to do this. But in all aspects of life, it is very important to find someone who is better than you. The reason for this is you have someone to learn from. For example, my chord progression technique isn't great. I'm not very good, especially with strumming. Strumming is a big hole in my guitar playing technique. But I have people at this college who are much better than me at it. And in hanging out with them and jamming with them, I'm able to learn how to get better at that kind of stuff. But this goes with everything in life. For example, I'm on the wrestling team here, and I don't really like to go with people who are probably smaller than me or people I know I can beat. I like to go with people who are much better than me and who could probably kick my butt, because that's how I improve every single day. And it's the same thing with guitar. Now this one's easier said than done. I guess it'll kind of happen naturally, as I talked about in like the making friends tip of here, but it'll happen naturally. You'll find someone who's better than you, and it's really important to swallow your pride and just learn that there are people that are better than you, and learning from those people is a huge thing. It's really important for you guys to do. Well, for everyone to do, not just you guys. Me too. And the last, and honestly the most important tip, is just to have fun. There's going to be very few times in your life where you're put in the exact same setting as something like college, where you have so many different people you can meet every single day. And it's really important not to take that for granted. So it's really important, guys, just to have fun. Enjoy the experience of being in college and being a musician. Take every opportunity you can to just become a better musician and a better person overall. Again, college is a very short time in your life, so don't let it go by too fast. That's something I'm kind of struggling with, and I'll get into probably later. I don't exactly enjoy college the most. It's not really for me, I don't think. But I every single day try to understand that, hey, I'm here, let's make the most of it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If this video is helpful, feel free to leave a like. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys want to see more content from me, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.